Hi, everybody. It's Steve Tarter, another version of Tartar Sauce. Welcome to our podcast. And with me today, Robert Montgomery.
Hello.
The President, CEO of Peoria Friendship House. And Robert, you're pretty new on the job.
Yeah.
How long have you been at the helm of Friendship House?
This is my 6th week.
And we should mention that Robert has already risen to the top, so to speak, because you are living on the roof. Is that right?
Yes.
Why is that? Why are you living on the roof of Friendship House?
A lot of reasons. Insanity. Well, to raise awareness to the community of what we do in the community. We do a lot of great things, and a lot of people don't know what we do.
Well, let's talk about Friendship House a little bit, because there are people probably watching or listening that probably don't know. I mean, if they've not followed Peoria closely, they may not know. How would you describe? You're relatively new. How do you describe Friendship House to somebody who says, "So, what do you do, Robert?"
So, in a nutshell, we're a community center, and we have a philosophy that if you give a man a fish, you can feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime.
Right.
So when people come through our doors, we at the end of the day, we are giving them services, and actually sometimes we give them food and things that they need. But in reality, what we're trying to do is to get them to enroll into our programs so that we can help them with every aspect of their life.
Rather than just a one-day deal,
Exactly.
drop in and get something.
Exactly.
And we should explain Friendship House, located on the, I guess you could say, the north end of Peoria. I mean, we used to call it near north, but a division of Peoria where there's quite a few folks in need.
Yeah, it's not
around.
too far from downtown, just
Not
north
too
of
far
downtown,
from, right.
and just north. I guess that's north of the Taft homes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And folks from Peoria probably know it well. You have been involved. What's a little bit of your background, Robert?
Well, I come from a wide variety of things. I started off my career, I was either going to be a politician or a comedian. My master's degree.
What happened?
I bombed at both.
The two are sort of similar sometimes.
My master's degree is in urban planning.
Okay.
And part of the reason I chose urban planning was because growing up on the south side of Chicago, we moved to a community. It's called Rosemore, and it was a predominantly white community when we moved there. But by the time I was a teenager, it was an all-black community.
Oh.
And that didn't really make a difference to me. But what I noticed was the quality of life changed. All of the reputable stores moved out, and they were replaced by hot dog joints, liquor stores, storefront churches. The streets weren't kept as well, so it seemed like a different area by the time I was in high school. And it had a reputation of being gang infested, although throughout my entire adolescent years, I never even knew what the gangs were. So I didn't have much interaction with gangs because there were no gang members in my neighborhood. But
Right.
by the time I was in high school, it became gang infested, quote unquote.
Right.
So it's on the south side of Chicago. And the south side of Chicago has a reputation of being
Right.
a rough area. But
Sure.
I didn't grow up in a rough area.
Okay.
But my question was, how come poorer people, and we weren't poor, but we obviously weren't as rich as the people who moved out of our community. So I had a question, how come people like us, we consider ourselves middle-class black people, how come we can't live a better quality of life or the same quality of life as our counterparts who moved out into the suburbs?
Right.
And so that was the question I wanted to answer when I went to college.
Wow. And where did you go to college?
I went to University of Illinois, right here in Champaign.
Right.
And then I went to UIC for graduate school.
Okay. And so what did you do upon graduating? Where did you go?
Went into politics. I worked for the city of Harvey as a city planner.
Okay.
And the mayor who hired me didn't get reelected. So I worked there for about a year. And the day after elections, when the new mayor took office, he fired me.
Welcome to politics. Oh, yes.
But I was thrust into the political world. I
Right.
worked on, I actually created a TIF there. I read about it in college, but it was baptism by fire. It was a huge project. And
Right.
I learned a lot about politics and a lot about law.
Oh, well, that serves you well. And now you told me, I think we met at the kickoff of the Stuff a Bus campaign, and we'll get to that, recently, last week. We met you for the first time. You were in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what did you do there?
So I used to work throughout my career. I was in fundraising.
Right.
And I was a VP of Development and Marketing for Boys and Girls Club in Northwest Indiana. I was going through a divorce in 2015, and I knew the president of the Boys and Girls Club in Madison, Wisconsin. He's from Chicago. He's an African-American guy. And we met each other through Boys and Girls Club of America. And he offered me a position up there, and I took it. So it was a great change of scenery. But for 2.5 years, I drove back to Chicago every weekend.
Wow.
Because my youngest son was still in high school.
Oh,
and
sure.
So I still needed to raise my son.
Oh, yeah. And so you were doing a little commuting and all of that. What brought you to Peoria? Was it the challenge of Friendship House?
Yes.
You heard about it and said, "Hey, this is something." The very thing that you were talking about as a growing up.
Yes.
It could be dealt with here.
Yes, I saw the challenge. At first, I didn't think they were going to want me because I had never run a nonprofit. My entire career in the nonprofit world was in development.
Right.
And this organization had some development issues, so I think that was probably part of their decision-making process. But my career goal was by the year 2020, I wanted to run a nonprofit.
So here you are, ahead of schedule.
Opportunity came early.
Now, Friendship House, and again, it's been around, and you just told me this, over 60 years. Started in 1951 here in Peoria. Been doing the very thing you said, as serving as a community center in a part of town where it's very well needed, but it's hurting right now.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until I read the release here. You have a quote here from the Friendship House board president, Joe Novotny, saying, as the board discussed potential actions we'd need to take, Robert jumped in with the idea for you to live on the roof because he said they're having trouble even making payroll.
Yeah.
And that's a troublesome thing when you can't make payroll. So what was the roof idea? Is that something you heard about somewhere else, doing the radio station going up on the roof? Or
I would like to say it was my idea, my original idea that I just thought of in my mind. But when I was in Chicago, I did some consulting work, and one of my clients actually, my kids went to the school that was associated with his church, but for a whole year. There was a pastor who lived on the roof, and he raised $1 million.
Oh.
And that was my original suggestion to the board was, let's raise $1 million.
Okay.
And they felt that it was a little aggressive.
And they didn't want to lose you up on that roof, indefinitely. But so how long about 6 weeks you've been on the roof?
Yeah,
now,
6
what
weeks.
does that mean? You started in September? Probably?
September 25th was
Okay.
my first day here in Peoria.
Okay.
I had actually never been to Peoria in my life.
Oh, so great. Go up on the roof as soon as you get to town. Well, you got a pretty good open air studio there.
Yeah, plenty of fresh air.
Plenty of fresh air. Are you now that the weather's getting a little cold, it's rainy and stuff? You got a tent, I assume.
I have a tent. I'm
okay.
not out. I'm not completely homeless up
Okay.
there.
Sleeping bag, or what are you using?
Air mattress.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into details
Okay.
of all of my luxuries, but
Well, I just want to let people know that this gentleman is doing this for a reason, and then what you want to do is have people go to the website, right? I mean,
our
a Friendship
website
House.
or our Facebook page. Since
Facebook.
I'm assuming everybody's watching this on Facebook.
Well, sure.
They just go to our Facebook page. It's Peoria Friendship House, and there's a button. I guess when we started our Facebook page, it wasn't started as a nonprofit, the page. So the button should say donate,
Right.
but it says, I think it says purchase something, or it's more of it doesn't look weird. It's a button. It's the only button.
The only button.
Yeah, if you click that button, it'll take you straight to our donation page.
Right.
And what we're really trying to do is increase our number of continuous donors. And what that is it's very easy to give on a monthly basis as opposed to lump sums.
Right.
If I asked you for $1,000, you would miss that from your
Yeah.
from your checking account.
Yeah, would be a rough one.
Yeah. But if you gave me $80 a month, that's something that
Might
you
be
can
able
manage.
to do it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a couple nights out.
Right.
That you won't have to. Oh, one night out, really. Just stay home this weekend.
This man is. See, he's already talked me into a $1,000 donation. So that's the gift of development here. Now, the problem that Friendship House is facing is nothing new. They've been probably it's probably been hard times for a lot of agencies.
Yeah, across the board.
Somebody asked me, and you might not know this because you're new to Peoria, but do we have too many? Because Friendship House isn't the only one. There's Neighborhood House. There's you're probably getting to know them.
Yeah.
The other agencies that do what Friendship House does in other parts of town. Do we have too many here, or is it just a case of hard times and everyone is in need?
Well, that's a very complicated question because I can't say that we have too many social service organizations.
Right.
That's like saying that we have too many people solving problems.
Yeah. Okay.
But do we have too many accounting firms that we all pay thousands of dollars a month to do our books? Possibly.
Right.
Do we have too many HR departments that take the time every month to do payroll and figure out how we're going to alleviate issues within the organization? I'm sure that there's tons of ways that we could all collaborate and use the same back office, if
Right.
not all of us together, but some of us that do the same things.
Right.
I'm sure that if we were to hire like a PwC or some consulting firm to come in and try to consolidate some of our backroom operations,
Cut some of the costs.
Absolutely.
Some of the startup.
That's actually a shout out to any consulting firm that's willing to take on that challenge pro bono.
You're making the most of this program. You got it on Facebook. You're raising money, and now we're going to consolidate all in 6 weeks.
Right.
You're working fast, Robert.
Right.
I'll tell you
but
what.
I wouldn't say consolidate.
No.
The programs
some of
and
the services
that we offer to
some
the
of the
community.
background stuff.
Some of the backroom stuff, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay. Now, Friendship House is involved. I'm aware of it. I have been for a long time because of the Stuff-A-Bus program, which is just one part of the services, the food pantry that serves that community.
Yes.
And, of course, there are many throughout the area. Churches are involved. You don't have to tick them all off, but what are some of the other things that maybe Friendship House is involved with that, somebody should know about because of this is what you're trying to fund, this is what you're trying to do to help people. So food is one. What else?
Well, we have we run basically 5 core programs. One of them is our academy.
Okay.
We call it the STEAMS Academy. That's where we expose children, school-age children, to all sorts of sciences and mathematics and reading and
This is the after-school
program.
Right.
And the challenge is here in Peoria, I think our children as a whole read and do mathematics at a 20% below the grade level.
Compared to
the state.
State. Okay.
And I don't know what the state's numbers are, but the state of Illinois is below the average.
This is not good.
Right, it's not good.
Okay.
So we're below average standard.
Okay.
In this city. So what we've done is we've taken about 50 of those kids that go to schools. We bus them in. We actually transport them in ourselves. And we're not in the transportation business, but we're in the transportation business.
Sure.
That's another shout out. Anybody who wants to take that transportation off our hands,
Right.
you're more than welcome to pick up.
People don't realize what's involved there.
That's a lot. It's very expensive.
Yep.
But I digress. We bring those kids in and we expose them to different things, and what we're trying to do is get them to dream, because what scientists have figured out long ago is that if you can get a child to dream, then the sky's the limit. There's no stopping a child that dreams. It's just the kids that are stuck in just the basics of life, who can't think past their next meal or where they're going to live or how they're going to eat or what's going to happen when they get home. If we can take those things off their plate, then we can allow them to dream. And as we expose them to more things, like kids don't know that they can be a surgeon, or what is a surgeon, or they don't know they can be a banker. They think that the banker is a person that you see when you walk in a retail bank.
Right.
They don't know that bankers make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of them make millions of dollars a year. So just those basics things of life that get these kids to dream, and then the sky is the limit.
Right. Well, that's a great program. What else? No, you said.
So we got the program for children. Then we have a program for everybody, which is our health program. I'm not sure if you know this, but we have nurses who come to our facility every week and take blood pressure. They help people with diabetes. So anybody in the neighborhood, outside of the neighborhood, they can fly in from out of the country if they wanted to. But if they come to Friendship House, when the nurses are there, they can basically get their vitals checked. And the nurses take account of those, and the repeat comers can check their progress, and we give them counseling too, like what can you do to
reduce it,
or help your situation. And then we have a doctor that comes on a bus once a month, and he holds a doctor's office. So if you want to see a doctor and your copay is too high, just come to Friendship House. Or if you don't have health insurance, come to Friendship House. You can go and see the doctor. The big issue with poorer communities is people aren't apt to go see doctors. One, they work sometimes 1 or 2 jobs, and then if they want to see the doctor, that's going to take away from their budget because they have to pay a copay, or they have to pay outright. So seeing a doctor is just as important as getting your oil changed every 3 months.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's great. And then
so we got our health program,
right,
and then we have a seniors program. Seniors come in. They do fun things. Sometimes they play music and sing together. But it keeps their spirits up, and they love it. They love hanging out and they love the camaraderie.
Yeah, I was going to say, coming together.
Exactly. We also have the food pantry.
Right.
We get donations of food, and we store it in a pantry. And then we have this huge industrial freezer where we keep meats. So once a week we have our Friday night takeout, and people come and they get a grocery bag, and that grocery bag is full of frozen meats and non-perishable items. They take that home, and the idea is that would last them an entire week. Now, it's not their entire grocery,
right,
because they still need perishables.
Right.
They need fruits and vegetables.
Right.
And so this at least is a foundation for someone's groceries.
Right.
Because no matter who you are, you're going to go to the grocery store and spend hundreds of dollars a month. This program tries to help people to take some of that out of their budget.
Offset some of the cost.
Exactly.
Great.
And then we have, what is our other programs? We have programs that we don't consider core programs, but they're incredible assets to the community. Like once a month, we have lawyers that come in and help people through the immigration process.
Oh, okay.
So that's held in our gym. We get people, the word gets out, and they walk them through the whole process. So.
Yeah, and that's, there's just so many things going on at Friendship House that people who maybe aren't part of the neighborhood or just have heard of the name aren't aware of. But obviously, all of that takes money.
Yeah, it takes a lot of money.
It takes staff.
And one of our huge programs is the FOC, Financial Opportunity Center. That's funded in part by LISC and United Way. And basically what it is, it's a place where people can go. We pull their credit. We counsel them on how to live on the money that you make. And basically,
I should take that.
How to live below your means. Because if you make more money, you can squander more money and still be in the same situation. Or if you make less money, then it's even more important to budget your money and know what you should spend money on.
Absolutely.
A lot of people their budget is basically the receipt they get from their cash station. This is how much money I got in the bank. This is how much money I can spend. And so they live their lives based on how much money they have in the bank. Yeah,
and that can be dangerous.
Yes, very dangerous.
So how is it going? You've been on the roof now 6 weeks. Are you 10% there, 20% there?
Actually, we're a little bit more than 10%. We're at 70,000.
And you want to do 500,000.
500,000.
So you got a little ways to go.
A little ways to go.
So are you prepared to spend the winter on the roof?
I don't like talking about. Why you got to talk about negative stuff? Let's
I'm just throwing it out there, Robert. You're living on a roof, and you
have faith in Peoria.
Okay.
I don't know these people that well, but I know that if they're challenged, the United States, that's our MO.
Yeah.
There was some French philosopher, Alexis de Tocqueville, came here and said, this was back at the turn of the century, I think, and it said that I'm not quoting him, but he basically said, the people who live in the United States are peculiar people because when there's a problem, they band together and they solve that problem.
And Peoria's had a reputation, and I think deservedly so, for doing just that. And I'm sure there are many other communities that do that, and you know them. But Peoria's, time and time again, this has been called, great for volunteers, people coming forward, giving of their time and of their money to various concerns. Well, we're talking with Robert Montgomery about Friendship House, which is, as he said, a community center in near Northside. I think that's one way to put it, where it exists near downtown Peoria, an older part of town, which at one time was, where you wanted to live. There's some nice homes, and there's still nice homes there.
Actually, we own 2 houses.
You own 2 houses, Friendship House.
We're in the process, on our property, there's 2 houses next door to our community center.
Oh, okay.
And they're old houses. I'm not sure when they were built, but we actually we're in the process of listing them. So if you're looking for a nice house.
That might help your bottom line a little bit.
Time.
Yeah.
Big time.
So if you want a house, this is your man right here. Get him off the roof, folks, and help Friendship House, because that's what we're talking about.
Oh, one thing I do want to mention is that a couple years ago when Kmart went out of business, we purchased their entire, inventory. Oh. And I have a receipt that everything totaled out to about $500,000.
Really?
And it's all this merchandise is sitting in our gym in about 31 different bins.
Wow.
It's brand new materials, great stuff. One of our board members, Marla, hey Marla, I think she might be out there watching, but she went and looked in one of those bins and pulled out about 25% of one of the bins. She pulled out about 100 articles of clothing. There was Joe Boxer stuff in there. Oh. I don't even know what Joe Boxer is. There's
got to be good. Yeah.
Some designer, the lady from Charlie's Angels. She started making clothes.
Okay.
Jacqueline Kennedy? Jacqueline and Smith.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. She had a line at Kmart.
Yeah.
Bunch of her stuff, dresses, coats.
All new.
All new. High quality stuff with tags on it.
Oh.
We're trying to sell all this stuff.
And can anyone just go in there and buy it?
You know what? Right now, no, because it's sitting in these bins. And we still don't know what's in these bins.
Oh, okay.
The receipt just has categories, so it'll say toys and how much toys, and then it'll say women's clothing, but we don't know what the articles of clothing are.
So is there going to be a big sale?
We need volunteers to come this Saturday. We're going to open it up. Going to have volunteers come in, pull out everything out of the bins and categorize it, and then try to sell it on Sunday.
So if somebody is listening and watching this, is there a number they should call? To say, hey, what time do you need me to come?
Sure, they can call Friendship House.
And what's that number?
Let me look on my business card.
This man's just new to town, folks.
They can call 309-671-5200.
Okay. And your number is, I don't know if you want to give your number, but I mean, I see it's fairly close to that.
Yeah, it's 309-671-5208.
Okay.
But I'm always out and about talking to donors, talking to people like you, doing interviews. So if they call my number, they're going to leave a message.
Okay. But so that'd be kind of interesting for people who want to find out what the heck you guys got from Kmart, and then how you can put it out for people to buy.
If one person wants to just buy everything that we got,
it's kind of a blind sale.
We can deal.
Yeah. If you like Kmart, here's your guy right here, because he's got some merchandise. Well, that's great. I was going to say, my sort of connection with Friendship House goes back to the 80s when we started Stuff-A-Bus, and I was with the transit district. And I know at the time Friendship House is fairly close to where the transit center is located. You may not have all these points yet on your map, but we're down not too far away, and it was kind of the local or nearby regional center for people in that area. So that we went with them. But there was some discussion, I know, when we did the very first Stuff a Bus, do we want to rotate to different charities after that? Salvation Army, Neighborhood House, so on and so forth. And because Friendship House was so involved and so cooperative, we stayed with it. And I'm happy to say, long after I've left the transit district, been at the Journal-Star now 19 years, that connection, that cooperation still exists between Friendship House and the transit system, raising all this food that goes to you guys, to your food pantry. And I think, if I remember what they said, they want to get 10 tons this year. They got 9 last year. They want to go for 10.
Yeah.
So that'll really help that food pantry.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's another thing if people out there want to know what to do. Give a can of food.
At Kroger's. So there's at all the Kroger's, local Kroger's, we've got these donation boxes. And after you, they're usually right by the registers.
Right.
After you pay for your food, and you're on your way out the store, there's a big bin. So next time you go to Kroger's, just buy something that's non-perishable and throw it in that bin.
Right. And they also have pre-bagged things. If you're in a rush, you don't want to, you wonder what to get. They got them already $3 or $5. I mean, various prices, things already put in that bag that you can just take and drop in that bucket.
They do.
So make it easy. Well, this is great.
And this is our 30-year anniversary.
30th year for Stuff a Bus. Absolutely. Yes. That's amazing.
Stuffing buses for 30 years.
I feel very old. It's there at the beginning, folks. But 66 years for Friendship House.
Yes.
That's a long time to be providing service. Have you learned any little tips? I know you don't want to get into specifics, but up on the roof, I mean, are you warding off raccoons? I mean, what, are there any little things you didn't expect that are happening? These are the things people want to know.
No.
Low-flying birds, nothing. Huh?
No, I don't get too many visitors up there.
Okay. I would think not.
That are non-human.
You don't want any visitors, probably.
Occasionally, I'll see a squirrel run across the roof. But,
okay.
It's surprising when you're out in the open like that.
Is it quiet?
It's kind of quiet. So down below, there's people walking past the community center all night long.
Okay.
I mean, all night long, and it's surprising. And they don't know I'm up there, but they're having conversations.
Will now.
But it's beautiful to look up and to see the stars at night.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole camping thing. But
yeah.
But I think the point of this is while Robert loves the fresh air and the stars, it's to raise money for Friendship House, to raise awareness.
Yes.
For the needs and the many services that Friendship House does.
Absolutely.
So we wish you well.
Thank you.
And hope that the message gets out. And you're heading right into the holiday season. So this might be a time for people who are sometimes start thinking about, hey, who needs help here? And we can point to Friendship House.
On that note, a lot of organizations at this time, I was actually approached by some of my fraternity brothers. They said that we wanted to buy hats and scarves and gloves and then bring them to Friendship House and give them to the kids in your program. Said, no, don't go out and buy hats and scarves and gloves. We got hats and scarves and gloves in those bins. I don't know how many we got.
Yeah, what sizes and all that.
Yeah, but if you want to just give us the money, you get way more hats and scarves and gloves for your money, and then we can give them to our kids and any other kids that need hats and scarves and gloves. And so any other organizations out there who are looking to do something similar, we got coats, we got boots, we got toys, we got...
And cold weather's coming.
Yeah, school uniforms, we got everything. So don't go out and buy that stuff. We got it.
We got it. We just don't know what we got.
Right.
But
we're
going to find out.
And you'll get way more than you think you would get.
Well, very good. Well, Robert, hey, it's been great, and we hope you're fine on the roof, but we don't want to see you out there forever.
Right.
We want this thing to reach your goal, and then come on down, and we'll have you come back and report in, and we'll tell us all the good things that are going on at Friendship House.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I want to thank Matt Dayhoff, been at the controls here, and we'll see you next time on Tartar Sauce.